Hello! Today we're going to talk about the 8 most common causes of so-called bad behavior in dogs. We say so-called because this behavior is bad only from the human point of view. From a dog's point of view, the behavior is not bad at all. This is simply a behavior that the dog is capable of in each specific case. Let's start with the first and not always obvious cause: health issues or pain. If a dog feels unwell, their behavior changes and they can become irritable and even aggressive. Your dog can't tell you how they're feeling, and they can't visit a doctor by themselves. It's your task to spot the changes in their behavior and take them to the vet. Even the slightest change, for example, irritation or sadness in your dog's behavior, is a reason to be wary. If you notice that it's difficult for your dog to concentrate, they're lethargic, apathetic, or they refuse to perform any specific actions, for example, to sit down or lie down, it's worth making sure that your pet is not in pain. The second cause for a dog's unpredictable behavior is force methods and punishment in training. Positive reinforcement is a very powerful tool for training any dog. All dogs learn with the help of it pretty quickly. There's no need to resort to force methods, punishment, intimidation, alpha rolls, and the use of inhumane gear like shock collars. Sometimes people use physical force on their dogs as a way to get emotional release. This doesn't teach a dog anything. Instead, it actually teaches a dog to be afraid of a person, avoid communication, and doesn't offer any way of establishing contact, which will cause the dog to feel stressed and may even cause the dog to show aggression in response. Positive reinforcement, on the contrary, contributes to the creation of a strong bond between the owner and the dog and helps to build a relationship based on trust. What's great is that as a result, you'll get a dog that is obedient because they want to obey and not because they're afraid of punishment for disobedience. You can not only train your dog with the help of positive reinforcement, but also correct their behavior. By the way, all our lessons are based on positive reinforcement methods. Let's move on to cause number 3, short or improperly organized walks. Of course, balancing physical and mental load is extremely important for every dog. When it comes to walks, which are vitally important for a dog's well-being, we're not only talking about physical load. During their walks, dogs get tired because they're constantly processing information about the environment, sniffing and exchanging information with other dogs. All of us have been through self-isolation, and we all know firsthand how difficult it is to stay at home without having a chance to go out. Watch your dog, spot the moment when they get tired or conversely, they want to walk more. It's important to take into account the mood and condition of your dog. There's no single formula for success. The fewer impressions and activities your dog has during the day, the higher the chances for manifestations of destructive behavior. Take this into account. When we speak about improperly organized walks, we advise you to pay attention not only to the lack of physical activity, but also to walks that are too intense. For example, it's great for your dog to run with other dogs. However, this should only be part of your walk. 15 minutes of this kind of activity is plenty. Otherwise, being overexcited can get too overwhelming and it can affect your dog's behavior. Remember that this can be very harmful for overexcitable dogs. If a dog is constantly on the go, for example, they're chasing a puller or a ball or playing tug games, the concentration of the stress hormone cortisol increases in their blood. Overexcitement caused by such a game is kind of a stress as well. On average, cortisol is eliminated from the blood in 72 hours. That is, the dog remains in a state of excitement for another 3 days. If such active games occur every day, the dog is constantly overexcited, and as a result, they get more and more nervous. If not released, this accumulated energy leads to destructive behavior. The fourth reason is an incorrect and unbalanced diet. The next reason is boredom. Just like us, dogs get bored, and sometimes boredom results in bad behavior. As a rule, dogs get bored if they have a lack of stimulation. If every dog's day is exactly the same, they lack new impressions, and if they've already examined everything in the neighborhood, they start suffering from boredom. Some dogs seeking new impressions chew on every household item, destroy furniture, attack other dogs and passers-by on walks, or entertain neighbors with barking and howling all day long. Some dogs will even exhibit this behavior all at the same time. Diversify your walks, visit new places, let your dog safely interact with other dogs. Teach your dog some simple tricks, play brain games with them, and offer them some different kinds of toys. You don't have to go to a pet store every day to purchase new toys. It's enough, for example, to divide your dog's toys into 2 piles, giving out one pile, hide the other, and change it after a week. One more frequent, but not always obvious reason is overload. There's a widespread misconception that a calm dog is a tired dog, but this is not true. Both physical and mental loads should be balanced. As they say, everything in moderation. Excess load leads to the deterioration of the nervous system. Dogs begin to be very nervous, they start to be afraid of loud sounds, and they find it difficult to obey. On top of that, this is often accompanied by the emergence of health problems. Very often an overload results in hyperexcitability, and of course, this results in outward signs like negative behavior. Don't load your pet excessively, either during training or during walks. Keep the training sessions short and always keep an eye on your dog's condition and mood on walks. The next reason is when dogs aren't allowed the leeway to act like a typical representative of their species. Sometimes pet parents complain about their dog's bad behavior, not understanding that this bad behavior is actually typical for any dog. These typical dog behaviors are often considered to be bad. Barking, exploring new territory, sniffing, eating gross things outside, rolling around in dead animals and other stinky stuff, jumping on people, resource guarding, hunting small animals, chasing moving objects, territory guarding, and many other behaviors too. These behaviors manifest themselves to a greater or lesser extent and depend on the breed, the individual qualities of the dog, and on their upbringing. However, this shouldn't mean that you should just accept it and give up. If such behaviors manifest themselves excessively or at an inappropriate time, they become disruptive and unwanted. That is, these behaviors don't stop being natural, but in specific circumstances, they become undesirable and downright unacceptable. Of course, it's not very good if a dog chases cars on the highway, barks at all hours, attacks passersby, or eats off the ground, risking their health. That's why even if it's natural for a dog to eat off the ground, your task is to teach them not to do that. We also advise you to keep an eye on yourself and make sure you're always giving your dog love and, whenever possible, attention. Dogs always adjust to our life pace and daily routine. Yes, we agree it's difficult to love a dog that, for example, has bitten you, but it's a manifestation of your love and care to understand the cause of this behavior and help them. Give your dog as much love as you can, spend quality time with them, put aside all your business for a while, and enjoy communication.